So your body should be soft. It teaches your body to move in the centre, and many people's bodies just topple when they're walking, it's basically toppling forward. And obviously what you're learning also, you will be learning, is that moving from the belly and moving from the legs requires you to develop those muscles. So you will feel that the muscles in the belly, the muscles in the upper leg particularly, are creating the means to lift your body up, rather than the idea that you're lifting your body up with your shoulders and your arms. And that's very important. If your body moves from the centre of it, then it's all operating in a harmonious way, and mind can then rest into that harmony. If the body is moving from too high, then the whole body goes into it becomes tight. Tight in the back and sort of passive and sluggish in the belly. So the belly stops breathing and the back becomes tight and the breath comes up here. So it all gets out of kilter, and you get some areas that are very weak and other areas that are tight all the time. And so that's why the rolling is important. But essentially, any movement that you make should come from the belly, so that when you turn, rather than turning from the head, you turn from here, that you feel your body moves around, walks forward, walks backward from this point, and that it drops down and sits in the same way as you do in a roll, that it moves from here rather than from here. Because then you end up meditating and eating and talking to people from here, and you get old very quickly. So that's why you're working hard on your belly muscles. But it's also very soft, it shouldn't be tight. Your body should have that sense that it gives. So if we watch Margie roll, and we do that test, so just sitting roll. 1 and 2. So to make this test, you can see that her body is giving, it's yielding, and it's yielding, but it's yielding from here. It's rather as though she's a plant with the roots down here, and the belly is anchored in the ground. And everything else can yield quite comfortably because it's certain of its belly. And thank you. So that as you become more centred, you become more relaxed because you're certain you're not going to be knocked off centre. Because you're anchored in here, whether it's mentally, emotionally or physically, you're anchored in here. So your walking practice is anchored in here. It's the belly that moves across, not the shoulders or the head. The head and the shoulders just glide on the top of this area here. That's where your home is, that's where your anchor is, and it's that part of the body that's moving over the foot. Also, it sags. The body sags. As it moves, it drops into that position and sags. The leg collapses its weight. It's not being pushed up. You're not lifting the weight up onto the leg. The body actually collapses, sort of slopes into that movement, so that you get the feeling there's no real effort, there's no tightness. So one of the things, when you start walking, obviously you can feel the weight, but also you need to get the feeling that the body is like a wonderful suspension system, that it's dropping into, that weight is dropping into a restful shape, rather than sort of landing on itself. You can tell, you hear this when that's what you hear from somebody who's walking around with their weight held up. That isn't held up. You can feel it, can't you? You can feel that all the muscles have gone like, all the joints have become hard, so all your joints need to soften. So we were doing some kin earlier, and I want you to get the feeling that your body almost rolls, all the joints roll into the standing position, that it sort of drops and moves forward. In the same way as you're doing the roll, the energy drops and moves forward and comes to rest. The leg drops, everything drops and moves forward. It's just learning to be loose and saggy in a nice, positive way. So I want you to just feel for that. Just give yourself a bit of time in kin practice, feeling for this sense that you can feel the joints loosening and the weight dropping into the front of the foot. Okay? Okay, let's do 15 minutes on that and then we'll meet up again.
Really rolling for me.
Rolly.
Felt like an major and Tai Chi years.
Yeah.
It was like a very long, continuous.
Yeah.
Felt really different.
Good. Should be getting this. We've talked about this backward circle, and the backward circle isn't just the movement of the whole body. It's all the joints in the body create those movements. They don't lift up and move forward, they drop into moving forward.
Felt like the same feeling of when we were doing the rolling thing and extending K.
Yeah.
Felt like there was a real feeling of that extension.
Yeah. Good. And that's, in that sense, that's the object of meditation, is that line, that soft line. Trish, how was that?
Going alright.
Yeah? What?
Sometimes I feel like I'm going alright.
Yeah. You get the feeling of the pelvis relaxing and moving more fluidly, or?
Sometimes.
Yeah? Good. Tina?
I was aware that the foot was more inclined to drop rather than put round.
Alright. Yeah?
So it just sort of looked after itself.
Yeah. So, I mean, the exercise that I was thinking would be useful in terms of joints. There is some information about joints. When the tendency in the body is for the joints to be tight, the characteristic is that of confusion, that the mind is uncertain of itself between differing patterns of different ideas. So Cradle is basically a very simple useful exercise. These joints rest over those joints. And just relax there. There's a slight twist in the arm to hold up the position, and then everything from then on, in a sense, is held by the belly. The weight is leaning back as though one were leaning into a chair. And when you're in this position, you quite often start with all the joints held, pulling in to hold the point of balance. But after a while you realise I don't need the shoulders, I don't need the back to tighten. I can let the throat relax and the armpits open and soften the knees and the hands. So it becomes a restful opening. So I thought we might do that. Okay? So if you'd like anybody not know this exercise? Very good, let's have a go at it. spot. The armpits and open up and shoulders drop. And again that feeling of the belly gently resting back onto the onto the coccyx rather than on the sitting bones.
As you open your mouth and knees, you're dropping through the breath, and I was just bringing it
Okay. Any questions? Fine? That look more like it. It will feel as if you yeah, so if it initially it can feel like there's a really strong pulling going on here. That's a sign you're getting a stretch in the right place. And really feel again that the throat and the groin are open as well as the joints. Yeah.
My arms, okay, I was slipping after a while. They were
Slipping forward or slipping outward?
Slipping outward.
Okay, they're not high enough on the knee.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They need to be over the knee. It's no good them being around here. It's just, they've got to be on top.
So this part here, right over the
yeah, you see the arm, that's the shape of the arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like this. It's turn right round so that little dimple is over the top, slightly to the outside, but over the top of the knee. It's not out here. It just won't hold, or they'll fall off. Yeah. Yeah. Is that feeling better?
Slightly,
Yeah.
Briefly.
Good. That's fine.